All right, this is pre-calc lesson 4.7, inverse trig functions. All right, when you're taking the inverse sine, you got to be really careful with your domain. So the sine of x is between negative 90 and 90. Um, and so the inverse sine, when you flip it, is going to be like this. So the inverse sine is, the graph is going to look like that. Okay? So the domain for the inverse sine is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, which means we are either in quadrants 1 or 4 on our unit circle. Okay? Another way to denote inverse sine is arcsine. Um, so the range is going to be from negative 90 to 90. So we're always going to be over here in 1 or 4. Okay? For sine. So find the inverse sine of negative 1/2. So you go over here to your unit circle. Negative 1/2 would be, where is y? Negative 1/2. So right here. Um, so right there at 11 pi over 6 or 330 degrees. Either, well, actually, though, we'd want to put that as negative 30 degrees. Or negative pi over 6 because we want to be negative 90 when you're dealing with the inverse. So you got to stay within that negative 90 to 90. Okay? All right. So negative pi over 6, negative 30, either way. Find the exact value without a calculator. Well, working inside out, if you take the inverse or the sine and then take the inverse sine, that's just going to wipe those two things out. And that's going to leave you with pi over 10. Okay? Work your way inside out on those. So it leaves you with pi over 10. All right, arc cosine or inverse cosine. That's what the graph would look like, and then the graph of the inverse cosine. So inverse cosine, then we are from 0 to pi. So for our range, we are only going to be working in quadrants 1 and 2 when you're dealing with inverse cosine. Okay? Always a positive angle out of that. All right. Tangent is kind of just like sine. Inverse tangent, you're going to be dealing with negative 90 to 90. So you're going to be dealing with quadrants 1 and 4 again when you're dealing with arc tangent. Okay. So you use your unit circle to kind of help your way through these. Composing, like you say, you work your way inside out. You can take the inverse of the same thing. You just wind up with x on all of those. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay, so let's go through some of these together. All right, inverse tangent of negative 1. So remember, for inverse tangent, we're going to be over here, 1 or 4. Well, tangent is y over x. Where over here in quadrant 4 is y over x, negative 1? Right there. Okay, so that's at 315 degrees, or we'd want to write it as negative 45 degrees or negative pi over 4. Okay, let's try number 9, the inverse sine of 1 over root 2. Um, so where inverse sine, again, we're dealing with quadrants 1 and 4. Where is the sine? Where is y over x? Where is root 2 on the bottom? So we're down here. Again, 1 or 4. Well, we know it can't be 1 because everything has to be positive in 1. So where is root 2 on the bottom? That would be right here again. Okay, that's where the sine would be 1 over root 2. Because if you took y, no, that would not be it. Inverse sine of 1 over root 2. Give me 1 second here. I want to give you misinformation. Yeah, 1 over root 2. That was right. It's right here. So once again, we want to write it between negative 90 and 0 again. So that would be the same as the answer up here, negative 45 degrees or negative pi over 4. Okay. 1 over root 2 is the same thing as root 2 over 2 when you're looking at, and I've talked about that before. Okay, let's try these ones. The inverse sine of the cosine of pi over 3. So we're going to work our way inside out. So we're going to find the cosine of pi over 3. Well, cosine of pi over 3, where is x? What's the cosine of pi over 3? Right here. So the cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. But then we're going to take the inverse sine of 1/2. So at what angle is the sine 1/2? Right here is where y is 1/2. So 30 degrees or pi over 6. So work your way inside out. Let's try that again. Tangent of pi over 4. So the tangent of pi over 4 is right here. So you would take that divided by that. Well, that gives you 1. And then, so where is the inverse cosine of 1? So remember, cosine is up here in 1 or 2. Where is the x value? 1. Well, right here. 1. So 0 degrees.